You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken Tech for your ears.
Welcome to the deep dive. We are so glad you could join us today.
Yeah, really excited to get into this one.
Because today we are digging into a stack of tech newsletters and articles from mid-June 2026. And, looking at all of this together, it paints a picture of a massive paradigm shift.
A total shift, like a rewiring of everything.
Exactly. I mean, it really looks like we are transitioning out of the information age and moving into what you could call the machine infrastructure age.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. The information age is just over.
Right. And today's sources, they cover everything. We've got trillion-dollar tech valuations, leaked AI financials, the literal death of the traditional web, and SpaceX's wild master plans.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. So, okay, let's unpack this because I want to know how this all connects.
Well, on the surface, these headlines might seem disconnected, right?
Yeah.
Like random news drops.
Yeah.
But if you look closely, they all point to a fundamental rewiring of how humans actually interact with technology.
Right. So let's start at the foundation of that shift. The massive, fragile, and honestly incredibly expensive foundation models that are powering everything else right now.
The expense is staggering.
Staggering is the word. We have these leaked, audited financials from OpenAI, and the numbers, I mean, they're almost hard to comprehend.
Yeah, the jump in scale is just unprecedented.
Right. So their revenue grew from $3.7 billion in 2024 to $13.07 billion in 2025.
Which is amazing growth.
Oh, totally. But their expenses just skyrocketed. They went from $7.81 billion to $19.18 billion in that same year.
Right, mostly due to those massive model training costs.
Exactly. Nearly $20 billion burned in a single year. And they say they hope to be profitable by 2030.
Well, hoping and doing are very different things when you're burning that much cash.
For sure. And Anthropic is also in the news here. They have this new Mythos model, and they've been super cautious about rolling it out.
Right, because Mythos has the literal superpower for identifying and exploiting security issues.
Yeah, so it makes sense they'd be careful. But then Amazon researchers actually found a workaround to bypass the guardrails on Anthropic's earlier model, the Fable model.
Which just highlights the fragility of all this.
Exactly. And because of that bypass, the White House, specifically Trump administration officials, they stepped in to restrict access to those powerful models.
Right, and obviously we're just impartially reporting the regulatory facts from the source here, but that government intervention is a huge deal.
Oh, massive. Anthropic and the administration are currently in these fast-paced talks to try and restore access. It just shows the immense pressure on the government to oversee all this responsibly.
It really does.
But I have to say, it sounds like OpenAI is burning money like a literal rocket booster just to stay in the air, while Anthropic built a state-of-the-art bank vault, but someone picked the lock on day one.
That's a really good analogy.
I mean, is this sheer fragility just the unavoidable cost of doing business in tech right now?
This raises an important question. The scale of investment is just colliding head-on with the reality of security. Like, the AI arms race isn't just about making the smartest model anymore. It's entirely about governance and safety.
Right, because if you get shut down.
Exactly. It's about whether these massive financial burns can even survive the regulatory roadblocks.
Wow. Okay, so building on that rocket booster analogy, let's talk about how these massive AI models are fundamentally destroying and rebuilding the concept of software engineering.
Oh, the traditional engineer is, well, it's a very different job now.
Totally. Look at SpaceX. They are acquiring the AI coding startup Cursor for $60 billion in stock.
$60 billion. Just let that sink in.
I know. And just for context, Cursor crossed $1 billion in annualized revenue back in November.
Right. And what we are seeing is the rise of what's called agentic code review.
Okay, break that down for me.
Well, coding agents have gotten so fast and so good that the hard part of engineering has completely moved. It's no longer about writing the code.
It's about deciding if you trust the code.
Exactly. The industry saying right now is, reviews have become expensive, rewrites have become cheap.
Right.
Understanding the code is now the absolute premium skill.
Because the machine can just churn it out instantly. And we have proof of why that review process is so critical. There was this developer who recently found a backdoor in a LinkedIn job offer.
Oh, this story is wild.
It's terrifying. The offer used a falsely authored GitHub repository to try and trick the developer.
Yeah, it shows exactly why rigorous review is the only defense we have left.
And meanwhile, Meta is supposedly dismantling their legendary, move fast and break things engineering culture.
Yeah, leadership has reportedly been ruthlessly destroying that hierarchy since April.
Right. Here's where it gets really interesting. If AI can write software instantly, it's like we invented a magic loom that just weaves infinite fabric.
Right.
So the only job left for an engineer is to be the exhausted quality inspector looking for loose threads. I mean, is that why Meta is blowing up their own engineering culture?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
The bottleneck in tech has officially shifted from creation to verification.
Wow.
Meta's internal demolition is a stark reaction to that reality. The old ways of empowering engineers to just manually build stuff, it's obsolete.
Because rewrites are cheap.
Exactly. Rewrites are cheap, and trust is the only expensive commodity left in the room.
Okay, but if software code is now just this cheap, infinite fabric, what happens to the internet that's actually built out of it?
Well, it vanishes.
Right. The places we go to use that code are disappearing. The web as this open place to browse and discover is being replaced by centralized AI chat interfaces.
Yeah, websites are basically becoming mere infrastructure for machines to read now,
Yeah.
not humans.
Exactly. Look at Amazon's new S3 annotations. They're letting developers attach 1 megabyte of rich, queryable context directly to objects.
Which is huge for AI.
Yeah, and Apple's foundation model Swished package brings Anthropic's Claude directly to Apple devices. It shows the back-end infrastructure is optimizing entirely for AI.
Even the browsers are doing it.
Right. Safari 27 is updating customizable select to ensure developers include accessible text, so it makes the web more machine-readable.
And as they do that, the control is tightening everywhere,
It really is. Chrome 151 is officially killing off Manifest v2.
which is the end of popular ad blockers.
Yep, they are gone. And over in the UK, they are banning under 16s from TikTok and YouTube entirely starting early next year.
Just completely locking them out.
Again, just reporting the facts of the source there, but it's a massive shift in control. And Fox is buying Roku for $25 billion.
Right, to fight Netflix and Amazon for ad dollars.
Exactly. So the web is locking down, and hardware is pivoting to capture reality directly. Snap is releasing these $2,195 AR specs.
Right, following up on Meta's Ray-Ban success.
Yeah, and Apple is planning camera-equipped AirPods for late 2027.
Cameras in your ears.
Cameras in your earbuds.
Yeah.
Alongside a foldable iPhone. And meanwhile, privacy is just shifting entirely. Apple's iOS App Store added an unencrypted keylogger that ties every screen tap directly to a user's account for targeted advertising.
It's all about data capture.
Yeah. They even rendered their Hide My Email feature useless by moving it to an easily bannable subdomain, private.icloud.com.
Right, so sites can just block it.
Exactly. So what does this all mean for you and me? I mean, the web is disappearing into chatbots, the UK is locking teens out of social media, Apple is logging our taps while putting cameras in our ears, and Chrome is forcing us to watch ads.
It sounds bleak when you list it all out like that.
It does. Are we still the users of the internet, or have we just become the physical sensors gathering training data for the machines?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, what we're seeing is the great unbundling.
The great unbundling.
Okay. As creation becomes automated, the tech giants were locking down the endpoints.
The hardware?
Exactly. The ads, the hardware, the operating systems. The internet isn't a place you just visit anymore.
Right.
It's becoming a sensory net that's layered over the physical world.
Wow. And the technology is no longer confined to screens or even AR glasses, right?
Not at all.
The deep dive moves into how this machine infrastructure is merging with the physical world and even human biology.
This is where it gets really sci-fi.
It really does. So Genesis AI, which is backed by ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt, they just debuted Eno.
Right, the industrial robot.
Yeah, a general-purpose industrial robot that can reason, adapt, and actually own outcomes beyond just doing predefined tasks.
Owning the outcome is a massive lead for robotics.
And then at the biological level, there's a UC Davis brain-computer interface, a BCI. They used advanced decoding algorithms and actually allowed a man with severe ALS paralysis to accurately communicate.
It's amazing.
It is. He can fully control a computer cursor using only neural signals.
Yeah, the decoding breakthrough there is just phenomenal.
And pulling it all back to SpaceX, right? We mentioned they bought Cursor. Well, their stated mission statement is to scale to make a sentient sun.
That's a sentient sun.
I know. Look, an industrial robot that owns outcomes is wild, and the ALS breakthrough is genuinely beautiful. But wait, a sentient sun.
I know, it sounds crazy.
Is SpaceX an aerospace company, or are we just living in their sci-fi novel? Like, how does buying a coding app fit into building a sentient sun?
Well, what's fascinating here is that SpaceX is vertically integrating human evolution.
Okay, explain that.
Think about the pieces they are assembling. When you combine infinite code generation, which is Cursor,
Right.
with global connectivity, which is Starlink, and then you add physical agents that own outcomes, like
Yeah.
advanced robotics,
Okay.
and then neural interfaces, the BCIs. When you put all that together, you aren't just building products anymore.
What are you building?
You are building the nervous system for an interplanetary species.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're assembling the full prerequisite stack for humanity to transition to a post-scarcity reality.
Wow. Okay, so just to quickly recap the journey we just took you on today, we started from OpenAI burning billions on AI training, which is making traditional coding and the old web obsolete.
Right.
And that brought us right up to brain interfaces and literally building a sentient sun. It is so crucial to understand these pieces not as separate news stories, but as one massive puzzle.
Exactly. It's all connected. And, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over.
Yeah, please.
The sources showed us that in software engineering, rewrites have become cheap, right?
Right.
But reviewing and trusting the work has become incredibly expensive.
Yeah, the verification bottleneck.
Exactly. So as AI begins to rewrite our physical reality through autonomous robots, AR glasses, neural interfaces, will our most valuable human skill simply be deciding what we actually want to review, trust, and allow into our lives.
Wow, that is definitely something to think about. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the infrastructure being built around you, and we will see you next time.
Spoken Tech, for your ears.